This Focus ST170 is deep into a full rebuild. The rear is done and now we're tackling the front, but we've hit a major problem. We need to temporarily install key components so the car can roll and be moved into storage while we wait for the next phase of the underbody restoration. But our workshop is bursting at the seams, parts are everywhere and there's no room to work. With less than £1,600 we have to build a fully insulated, powered and heated workshop from scratch. If we fail, this entire project could grind to a halt. And just to make things more interesting, the parts we need to move the car, they're in a mystery package, fresh from Germany. Will we pull this off? Let's find out. Okay, fasten your seatbelts, here we go. This is a very dilapidated shed I've managed to get for free. It is covered in rats droppings and fairly well rotten. The people that I got it from just wanted it out of the way, so it has to be fully dismantled as carefully as possible, lay it out in the front garden and get the delivery company to drop it back in my place. Total so far, £85. What we're going to do now is lay the floor down and give it a really good wash so it is the perfect base for our brand new workshop. We've given this a really good wash and we put some battens underneath to help support it. Now that's nice and clean, I can get on with preserving what is left of the original shed. So it is getting a coat of paint. We're using forest green Cupinol Ducks back here, really goes on well. What was left of the old roof has been taken off for delivery and we're going to have to re-roof it. Due to the condition of the roof, I'm going to put a bit of spare breathable membrane I've got knocking around on there first. Normally, you would just stick the felt straight to the roof. And then we're going straight for the 15-year life polyback felt. This is really good stuff because it doesn't rip. It's nice and easy to cut. I'm just going to roll it out onto the roof and nail it on with felt nails. The intention with this is to let the plants completely cover the roof. I'm going to take the opportunity while the shed is completely empty to add wood preservative to everything. So this will freshen it up and it will hopefully ensure the shed will last for at least a few more years. This is our power cable, fortunately directly outside the shed. I'm just checking the tester is working, isolating the power. Then we're going to dismantle the socket and bring the wire inside to supply our sockets and our lights. And for the outside lights, I'm installing a daylight sensor. And then the rest of the circuits. So we have a ring main and 2 internal lighting circuits and 1 external lighting circuit. These are all the tails and the lighting circuit junction boxes. This is the delivery of Celotex that has just turned up. So I'm going to cut this down to size, spray adhesive to the back of it and insulate the walls and the ceiling of this shed. The floor in here is okay, but we need to strengthen it because we're going to be standing an engine stand on it. I'm using OSB 3 boards here for extra strength. The edges get scribed in so we don't have any gap and the whole job looks really neat. How it was, how it is now. I'm securing the new floor to the old floor and into the battens underneath, and then securing the board to the walls. We're leaving holes for the ring main wires to stick out and securing this to the stud work behind it. One side done, let's get the switch on. 2 switches for the inside lights and a fuse for the daylight sensor outside lights. I've insulated the doors with Celotex as we lose lots of heat through those. I'm also going to board out the ceiling. And here it is, the other side is done, with our roof battens for support as well. Now it is time to install the rest of the electrics. I'm just stripping the wires and then I'll connect the socket back to the wall before connecting the socket. Then we've got the little ambient light to connect. So this is a much lower powered light for when we don't have the main strip lights on. And of course we have the switched fuse spur for the frost protection heater. Now we're going for the main strip lights. So these are two nice quality lights with a really nice color temperature, suitable for filming. Okay, turn the power on. Let's see what happens. Hey, really nice lights. Yeah, lovely. No pops or anything, no bangs. Yeah, we're straight in there. I'm just going around putting the tester into each of the sockets to make sure I've connected them the right way, and it would appear we're all good. Now it's time to lay the floor. I've just had it delivered in this big roll here, so the first thing I need to do is make sure this floor is really clean. We don't want any lumps or bumps trapped underneath this. So this is coin rubber matting. It comes in big rolls like this of various sizes. You just roll it out and it's really easy to clean and suitable for applications like this. I'm trimming the edges here, really important so we don't end up kicking up the matting as we come in and out of the shed. And then I'm applying contact adhesive to both surfaces. I waited 2 or 3 minutes, and then when this goes down, it is stuck solid. So I'm just doubly checking everything is stuck down there. Same again with the back. Cut it to size, bit of contact adhesive, click of the fingers, and boom. This is the final strip of flooring going down. I've managed to find this floor in a narrower width so as to minimize waste, and also the join is at this side because we're going to be covering it with these shelves. Just attaching them to the wall, and then we're straight in there with the engine stand. But before we can get the engine on the engine stand, we need to remove the clutch. So this is a dual mass clutch. It is absolutely ronnied, although I have seen worse. Just having a look at it, we need to take all of this off, and then we can attach it to our engine stand mounts. So this engine is the last piece to go into this newly built workshop. We're going to go around with it, see it in its engine stand, and have a look at the finished workshop. There we go, it's looking great. This lovely engine stand was loaned to me by a neighbour. We also have an outside light for £30, and there was some extra wood for £30 as well to repair the base of the shed. Our total spend now stands at a grand total of £1,215. £385 below budget. So there it is, we now have a workshop to work in to rebuild this engine. But first we have to do some other quite major reassembly to the front of the car in order to move it into storage. Let's get to it. So we are quite well dismantled here, and it is now necessary to get this car rolling so we can put it into a garage while it awaits further underbody restoration. We've got to put the front subframe back on, the steering rack, all the nuts and bolts, anti-roll bar, all of the subframe bolts, the hubs, and we're going to be needing the contents of a mystery package direct from Germany. Let's get this done. Here it is, the original front subframe for the ST170. This has been blasted and powder coated a little while ago, and all I'm doing now, I'm just building it back up with all the bits that I've been able to source. So we have the spacing washers going on at the front, we have the clamps for the anti-roll bar, we've got the wishbones. Also, most of the nuts and bolts are brand new direct from Ford. There are a couple that I will be chasing up and changing at a later date because once we've moved the car, all of this will have to come off again. We'll just secure the anti-roll bar mounts and then we'll put the steering rack back on. This is only temporary to move the car because I will be having my original steering rack fully refurbished. Okay, let's break out the trolley jack. Nice piece of wood on top of it, and then we're going to raise this subframe to meet the underneath of the car. I'm getting the brand new subframe bolts in now. We're going to secure this, check everything's in the proper place, and then very gently lower the jack. And underneath it's looking lovely, really nice powder coated finish, looking really good up against those new subframe bolts. Front subframe back on and it's looking great, but in order to get this on its wheels, we need to go and get the mystery package. Right, this is the full Bilstein D12 suspension kit for the ST170, so we're going to take all of this out of the box, put it on the table and see exactly what we've got. Okay, this has taken nearly a month and a half to arrive. The UK supplier actually ran out and they had to order this in directly from Germany. In the kit, we've got the front and rear springs, we've got the front struts, the rear shocks, but today we'll only be doing the front to get this car moving. Right, now for my least favourite job. We have to compress the front coil spring in order to build up the strut assembly. I'm being very careful with this, winding each side in evenly. If something comes loose, that spring can cause a lot of injury. We're getting the top nut done up here. There is a special tool for that. Of course, I don't have it, but we have managed to struggle it in. Just releasing the clamps. And there we go, that's the front strut, looking good. Just tapping in the end there, and then I'm going to be removing the lower wishbone just to ease installation. Connect it from the top, and then I'm going to bolt everything back up. I'm keeping everything fairly loose because all of this will be coming back off again when the car gets to the garage. And there we go, first one fitted. Let's get the front brake disc back on. I've got to use that as a spacer for the wheel. I haven't yet got the calipers on. Let's get the other side on. Okay, we are now assembled enough to get this car back on its wheels. Let's close the bonnet and get the trolley jack out. Just very delicately raising the car from the center of the front subframe, and then we're going to just remove the axle stands and very carefully lower it to the ground. I need to reinstall the front bumper reinforcement because this car will be towed onto a truck, and I need to reinstall the tow hook. And here it is, all four wheels on the ground and ready for the off. I have jacked up the back and freed off the rear brakes, so it's rolling freely now and ready to be delivered to my garage. Just got time to give it one last wash, and then we're straight on the recovery truck. And just like that, the ST170 is finally on the move. After all the work we put in, building the workshop, getting the front suspension back together, it's amazing to see it rolling again, even if it is just onto a tow truck. This is a huge step in the restoration. With the car now safely in storage, we can finally focus on what comes next. getting the engine rebuilt and bringing this car back to life. If you've enjoyed watching the build so far, please make sure to hit that like button. It really helps get the video out to more people. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. There's a lot more to do, and trust me, you won't want to miss the next steps in bringing this ST170 back to life. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.